Finished putting my screens up so that I can at least keep the van nice and semi-cool since it's 90 degrees out. Well, holy moly, is this thing huge. Look at the trunk on that. That's what she said. Hi friends and adventurers. We are heading to a brand new park in Florida today that I've never, well, brand new to me. It's been around for a while, but I've never been there. This is actually going to be my third attempt at camping here, so hopefully third time is the charm. If you've seen my last couple of videos, you know that I have been on the struggle bus a bit the past month or two. In fact, it's been like 6 weeks since I've been car camping. So that kind of gives you an idea of how things have been going for me. But as much as I wanted to cancel today, this is only going to be a 24-hour camping trip, and I honestly think that I just really need to be in nature, surrounded by trees, and just give myself a break from my normal scenery and my normal routine right now. So even though it took me a bit of motivation to get out of the house today, we are officially on the road and heading to camp. Thank goodness, because it has been too long and I know I need it. Looks like we made it. All right, we are heading to our campsite now. Of course, I decide not to bring my camera this time. Well, because I haven't been feeling great. Ignore my camp tag, please. I'm trying to find my campsite here. Okay, one way. Oh, that's me right there. I'm gonna back in because nobody's around rather than going all the way around the loop. I'm in the very last site. Let me get my tag off of here. Site 25. And I was just talking to the ranger when I was checking in. She said they have like a ton of bears in the park, and I'm so mad and also so excited. I'm really hoping to see them. She says right now they have a mom with 2 newborn cubs from this spring, and that the dad sometimes wanders around, and that last year they had 2 moms, one with 3 cubs and one with 2 cubs. So they actually had, like, she said at one point last summer they had like 8 bears wandering around the main part of the park at the same time, and people were like freaking out. So now that I heard that, of course I want to see the mom and the 2 babies, but I didn't bring my camera because, you know, I've been feeling so puny and wussy lately that I didn't want to push myself by carrying the camera and holding it up and taking a bunch of pictures while I was hiking this week. Although I don't think I'm actually going to hike. I think I'm going to stroll. But either way, now I'm just going to have to use my phone if I see them, so I won't get any awesome pictures. But at least my eyes will be able to see them. And hopefully I'll be able to get something on my phone. Of course, with my luck, I may not see any sign of them. But we are going to look this evening and first thing in the morning, so I did get the very last campsite, which is right next to the nature trail. I can see the sign for the nature trail right in front of me. I'm going to show you around, of course, in a moment. But we are definitely going to go on a hike once I get settled and set up. I'm hoping nobody's right next to me because there's not really a lot of privacy between me and the next campsite. Of course, there's nothing but woods on this side and in front of me, so that's good. But I've heard that this is a really, really quiet, peaceful, pretty park. It's got some wetlands. Apparently one of the trails goes like a mile out into the swamp. She said the bugs are really bad right now, of course. And then there's trails, like shorter trails, I guess, that go around. And what I'm most excited about, other than the chance at seeing bears, is that this state park is actually home to the second largest tree in the state of Florida. Well, the second largest live oak. I'm assuming the largest tree altogether, but at least the largest live oak. It's called the mammoth oak, and it is not only the second largest, but one of the oldest trees in the state too, like over 500 years old. So that was the main reason I came here, because I didn't know that the bears were such frequent visitors. But I'm gonna at least be able to show you a really cool tree and some pretty scenic areas. So I'm gonna shut up and get set up, and then we're gonna go explore a little bit. All right, I just finished putting my screens up so that I can at least keep the van nice and semi-cool since it's 90 degrees out while we go to the restroom and then go for a quick little hike-a-roo. Let's take a look around the campsite. This is the last campsite in the loop, 25. There's the entrance in, and then over here is where the camping loop starts with site number 1. And I think there's like an inner and an outer loop. So I'm right here, and then you can see the building right there. That's the restroom, which we're gonna go check out real quick now because I got to go. Alright, so we got the showers, sinks, and the restrooms. Not bad. It's pretty clean, it's just a little old, but I think they're doing renovations starting in about a week or two, and that's why they're closing the campground temporarily. Alright, let's go for a hike. A leisurely one. See, there's my site, and then there's the nature trail. I think that one goes about a mile back that, or a half a mile. And then this one, I think, loops back up to like where the main road is. So this is the one we're gonna take because we wanna go look at the tree first. Depression march. Perfect for me. That's a very short walk. We're already out where we turned in to go to the campground. So I think straight ahead is the tree. There's the ranger station. And if you just want to visit the tree, you can park in this little area and then go to the live oak trail. Don't you know I already got a deer fly bite, dang it. Geez, even their regular oaks are pretty. Oh, I see a sign up ahead. We must be there already. Holy moly, is this thing huge. Look at the trunk on that. That's what she said. love this little bench they made. All right, let's head back. Explore a little more of the trails. So this must be the main parking area for the lake and the boat ramp. And then I think that's the boat ramp way down there. I'm gonna come early and try to do that 1 o'clock tour to the rookery, but the weather did not cooperate earlier. It was pouring, but I'm not gonna complain because we're desperate for the rain. I know you can't see that bird very well from here, but that's an American redstart. I am regretting more and more that I did not bring my camera. Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. Well, I'm sure I have enough time to do that now and still explore some more. I'm kind of thinking of saving that for the morning. I'm not sure yet. All right, it is definitely time to hydrate. I've got one of my watermelon elements. I've been having to drink 2 of my electrolyte packets a day lately. Ugh. But look, as you can see, humidity is actually not bad right now, but we are at almost, well, 88 degrees. And I have my new replacement dehumidifiers because my other ones got pooped out from being in Florida humidity too much. So I think that is helping a lot. I don't think that's why it's only 44, but a lot of times it gets up to the 70s, no problem in this weather. So maybe it's doing its job. All right, we are ready for the evening and we are going to do a super simple, super lazy dinner and relax. Oh, we've dropped down to a low 86. I am amazed at the humidity level because it is really muggy outside. It's gotta be because of that dehumidifier. It has to be. All right, well, my plan to run into the bears did not work. So maybe in the morning. But it's getting dark now, so I probably shouldn't be traipsing through the woods alone looking for bears when it's getting dark. So we are back inside Tara and getting ready for dinner now. Does this count as girl dinner? We are having Publix pinwheels, which is just turkey, cheddar, and bacon, as you can see. And some blackberries that are a little Condensated. Is that a word? I don't know. I just made it one. Just realized I forgot to get my window covers out. Doing a little light reading after dinner here from my materials that I got when I was at Mayo Clinic. Definitely what I need to work on at the moment, since I don't seem to have much control over the other things happening. Good morning, my friends. Oh, those were the first words that I've spoken out loud today. Excuse my morning voice. I had the most peaceful, quiet night here. There are hardly any campsites around me booked. There's only a couple, like way down there on the other side of the restrooms. So, very quiet, very peaceful. Woke up to the sound of birds, so can't complain there. Can you hear them all? My favorite sound in the morning. Well, I'm really impressed with this park. It's very small, but it's beautiful, and there's lots of trails for the size of the park, so there's lots of different paths that you can explore. I'm a little disappointed, okay, more than a little, that I did not see the bears. But I know I am definitely coming back here, and I am going to go on a morning hike, so there is still a chance. It's nice and early, nobody's around, nobody's walking, so this is a good wildlife time. I will go see that, but I'm waiting for my coffee to boil, or my water to boil right now to make coffee, and I just wanted to give you a couple of quick updates about what's been happening with me. Okay, sorry for the interruption. I had to turn my fan on because it is definitely toasty and muggy. It did drop down into the 70s last night. So cold. So I'm not hot like yesterday, but it's a little muggy. So I tried to do it without the fan for you guys, but I just can't. Anywho, let's talk. The endoscopy that I had, it did confirm, I think I've talked about that part. It did confirm that the Barrett's esophagus has not improved at all. No, it's not something that can be reversed or cured, apparently. But apparently that and my hiatal hernia, which is when your stomach is pushing up into your diaphragm or your chest cavity, basically up in through your esophagus. So that definitely explains a lot. I wasn't quite sure what that was, but anywho, it doesn't always need surgery, but it does explain a lot of the weird symptoms that I have and my sudden bloating and swelling and uncomfortableness when I eat anything. So I understand that a little bit more. Since I've only been on the medication for a month now, that's supposed to kind of help mitigate some of that damage and maybe let the inflammation go down enough to where that the stomach can at least kind of retreat back to where it's supposed to be. So she did want to give it one more month. And they want to do one more endoscopy just to see if the hernia has improved at all, because apparently they try not to do the surgery if it's not necessary, which I am all on board with. So we'll see, fingers crossed. I'm not super optimistic that anything's going to change, since it did get a little bit worse from the first to the second endoscopy, and my symptoms had improved since the first one. So I'm not too sure about that, but if it can avoid surgery for a while, I am all on board. Otherwise, I am going to have a procedure that I think it apparently helps to, they'll take care of the hernia, and then I think it helps to kind of like strengthen or close the flap for your esophagus to keep further damage from happening, and to lower my risk of it turning into esophageal cancer, which apparently is not totally insignificant of a chance anymore. So I'm a little nervous about that. But I'll just have to keep doing repeat endoscopies every 2 to 3 years going forward to make sure that there are no signs of cancer developing and that the cells haven't mutated further. So that's that. Not great, not terrible. We'll see. I do have my endoscopy scheduled again for the end of May. So I'll know then whether I need the surgery or not over the summer. And then my MRIs, the good news is that there's no new or worsening brain damage, no more new lesions, and they haven't spread to new areas. So that's good. But that also means that they still can't confirm MS or anything like that. So I'm waiting to hear back from the neurologist on whether I just kind of ignore it and then repeat like in a year or two, or what goes on there. So that's kind of where we're at there. I do have my rheumatology appointment at the end of the month too. That one I'm a little nervous about, just because there's so much riding on it, in my opinion. And it's such a wishy-washy thing. So we'll see if there's any new insights, if they can confirm anything that maybe has some slightly more effective treatments than what I've been using to manage everything. Not that I want to do more treatments, but I know that sometimes infusions and other therapies are an option that can kind of help get you back on track. I am wrapping my mind around the fact, gradually and very begrudgingly, that this is just my new reality and that this is going to be the rest of my life. Obviously, I'll have ebbs and flows. There'll be improvements, flare-ups, whatever. It's just really frustrating to look into your future years and years ahead and still see consistent, regular doctor's appointments on top of whatever else, when you hate going to the doctor. But I'm alive. I was able to go on some beautiful hikes yesterday, look at some beautiful scenery. I can still get out in nature. I can still camp. I can still do all of the things I need to do. I have been back at work full time at my 9 to 5 now for 3 full months. So I need to count that as a victory, because I didn't think I was ever going to be able to go back to work this time over the summer last year when I had to stop. So I am proud of myself for that, and that I've still been able to maintain my functionality, even though I may not be looking and feeling so hot. But again, I'll take what victories I can get. So I'm going to shut up. My water is boiled, so I'm going to make some coffee. I'm going to go search for some bears some more. And I just want to say thank you for being patient with me. Thank you for still sticking around with me. I know I'm kind of all over the place right now, and I'm not putting out the content that I had planned on the last couple of months, but I'm giving myself grace, and there will be a lot more videos coming up soon. I'm not going to promise days and say, okay, on Saturday you're going to get this post on, because I've learned my lesson there. But I do promise to be more present than I have been the last month or two. So I am going to wrap this up now, because I'm just going to cut the cameras, be present in nature, decompress before the rest of the work week starts. And then I will see you guys very soon for another adventure. Although I do have a couple of more educational videos coming up that I think you'll enjoy, with some helpful tips for car camping and van life and stuff like that. So I am going to go get to my hiking. Wish me luck. If I do see any bears, of course, I will share that with you. Otherwise, I'll see you again soon. Bye.